Hello.
And welcome to
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 582 of Film Bastards. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever, I am joined by...
Becky Foster. Hello, everybody.
And there's no Ian, because he's in Japan. He's turning Japanese. That's an incredibly racist song, actually, that, isn't it?
It is, isn't that song about masturbation?
It is about masturbation, yeah, it is, yeah. He's well, he might be masturbating, but we don't know.
What's the time difference? He may well be masturbating right now.
He may, not, no. I mean, if he is, it's going to be slightly uncomfortable because he's at Universal World on roller coasters. So, maybe he is.
I wouldn't put it past Ian to be jacking it on a roller coaster.
I mean, Ian's a very good dad, so I would put it past him, getting kicked out for public masturbation.
I'm sure he'd make sure she was in like a row back or something.
I still think he'd probably get them all kicked out. But he's from all accounts, Ian is having a very, very good time. He showed me a video of a roller coaster he went on that literally you're hanging kind of like face down and it's whizzing you around and bits like that, and it looked insane.
I don't feel like I'd like that. I'm too old for that shit now.
I mean, Ian's man who loves roller coasters, and I love that about him. I would love to go on a roller coaster with him one day. So there's no Ian because he's in Japan. There is just us. We're actually, weirdly, we're recording a little bit different, aren't we? Because we've had a bit of it's a week where it's not been difficult to record, but we've had like certain points, haven't we?
We've had evening stuff.
And I've been starting work early, so we've not been able to record as much at night because we've not had as much time. So we're recording in the morning.
Very civilised as well.
We're literally having breakfast while we're recording as well. So we have croissants in front of us. So if you hear a little bit of clinking, it is that. But what have we got coming up? We have, we've got some trailers. We've got what I've been watching. And we have our feature review, which is Ryan...
Coogler.
Lose my words. Ryan Coogler's Sinners. His first original movie since, I think, his first. Yeah. So... Yeah.
I'm not particularly au fait with his body of work.
He's
the Black Panther man.
He's obviously been tied with they did the Creed movies and then he did the Black Panther movies. And so it's, the Black Panther movies, especially the first one, Fruitvale Station is his first one, which he watched recently, I think, didn't you, last year? And they are very much a director's vision. They're very much a directed movie. We'll get more into that later on. Please listen to our friend show, which include the Rewatch Project, Entertainment Landfill, Train Struck vs Punter. Music listen to their latest episode, and there's a really good opening 25-minute segment on YouTubing, which is really quite a fun listen.
YouTubing?
Yeah, it was just like it was an epic tangent that just kind of kept going.
Okay, fair.
But it was really quite entertaining.
Who doesn't love a tangent?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're famed for them. So we're going to start off with trailers because there has actually been some. There's been quite a few gone out there. Bex, Predator's Badlands.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Predator movies. I've still, to my shame, not got around to watching Prey, which I probably should do at some point. I know.
Why?
I don't know.
Are you sure? I thought we watched it.
No, you and Ian did it for the podcast, but I didn't watch it. Yeah, so I need to get around to that because it's by all accounts very good. But yeah, this looks like it's like futuristic-y kind of vibes.
Yeah, it looks like another world sort of space actioner. So not quite it doesn't look kind of like space opera, but it looks a little bit like the movies that the Riddick films wish they were now.
I mean, it does look a bit space opera-y.
Yeah, it's just I love the fact that the Predator logo is the font, is the Predator font and the Predator red. I really like that. And it's nice that this seems to have actually kind of like found a bit of a new niche with an existing property that they can go, well, hang on a minute. The thing that people love about Predator is just that kind of that singular nature. The reason why Predator worked really well, the first one, yes, people fell for the character. The character's a great character, but it was that very set out the story as a beginning, middle, end there. That they don't actually need to. The way they can franchise build with Predator is go, well, we just do adventures of predators. We don't have to do a singular story that goes for 4 or 5 movies.
My only slight concern from a franchisee point of view is, like, tonally, this looks like it's very different to, say, Prey, which looks like it's a very serious film. This looks like it's going more along the lines of big and slightly silly. And, like, it's just a bit like, will it end up feeling disjointed? Or if they're all just separate movies, which, you know, fine. I think tonally there has to be some kind of through thread.
But I think the through thread is, I think what they're looking to do is build kind of on the mythos of the Predators.
Yeah. And I suppose, like, if this one's future-y and Prey is set in, obviously, prehistoric times, isn't it?
And then obviously you've got the...
Maybe he's just developed more of a sense of humour over time.
And you've also got the animated
Oh, that looks sick.
film coming out around the same time as well.
Yeah, that looks mint.
And apparently these all... The idea is that they all exist within the same world. They're not necessarily interlinked.
So are they meant to be the same predator?
No, it's different predators. But they're all set within the same world.
So this one's maybe watched more Arnie movies.
This one maybe has.
Yeah.
What's the main? Maybe this one is the Predator from the Arnie movies.
maybe.
You know, maybe it's that. Maybe it's that guy's origin story.
Could be.
You know, that's the story I think we all want, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to one other one, Bex. Heads of state.
Oh, just absolutely fuck this current trend Hollywood seems to have of trying to make politicians cool. They're not. They're cunts. It's just, why? Why do we need presidents as action stars? And we definitely don't need prime ministers as action stars.
Yeah.
Our political leaders in this country are dumpy, useless men. And do you know what? Obviously, political leanings aside, I don't mind Keir Starmer. I can't see him as an action star. And
I don't like his recent comments. Let's just say that.
Oh, I haven't seen. I'm trying.
I don't like his whole backing up of trans women and not women. What is it there? It's just
dear.
Stop occasionally veering and fucking right lane pandering. Exactly. Stop picking on a fucking community of people that are one of the most persecuted general communities out there for such a small minority that there are. It's a pathetic stance to have.
Yeah. See, I'm quite a judgmental person, and you know, so I'm not going to sit here and make out like I'm some kind of angel, but just let people fucking live.
Yeah. Also,
I hadn't seen that. That's very disappointing.
Yeah, it was quite disappointing. Mild tangent. Right. What goes on in bathrooms? Because genuinely, like in gents' bathrooms, there is a lot of standing, looking fucking forward, right? Urinating, shaking, making sure you don't shake too long, otherwise it looks fucking weird.
Looks like you're enjoying it too much. Yeah.
And turning round, washing your hands and getting the fuck out.
Yeah.
Or, if you're a little bit drunk, there is occasional whistling, humming or singing. But still looking fucking forward.
Well, it's not men's bathrooms that people seem to have the issue with, and this is what's always baffled me about the discourse about like trans bathrooms stuff. Because it's like, you walk in, right?
Yep.
You go into a cubicle.
Yep.
You lock the door. You sit down. you do your business,
Yeah.
you sort yourself out, you fully put your clothes back on,
Yeah.
and then you walk out, you wash your hands and you leave. Like all this crap about, I don't want my daughters to see some man in the ladies' bathroom and have to see his penis.
Why is he walking? We don't just walk around.
No,
we don't walk in and go, no, your rhinos better just piss on the floor.
But women do less. We have cubicles with lockable doors. We just go in there, we fucking lock the door. It's not like, we finish doing our biz and then like we unlock the door and walk out into the common area of the bathroom, pulling our trousers up or putting our play suits back on or whatever the fuck. That's all done in a locked room.
I genuinely, I don't know because I'm not a girl, but I genuinely think that the people who are making these decisions think that the way that Hollywood movies, again, depict women's bathrooms where it's just a bunch of people stood around putting makeup on and chatting, and nobody's actually urinating apart from that one girl who does it with the door open so she can keep talking to people. I can genuinely think they think that's what happens. There's always
that one girl. Yeah. Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong, the makeup stuff is a thing, but like you're not doing that in the nude. You've not got your vagina or your dick hanging out.
Well, fucking hell. These are revelatory.
Yeah.
These comments.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
and I for one don't think I like them.
I've never understood the whole but what about the bathrooms comments, because it's like what?
Yeah, just how often do you use the public bathroom?
Well, there is that, but like I can safely say I have never seen another woman's vagina in a public bathroom. So my concerns about seeing a trans woman's downstairs in a public bathroom, it's nil. Yeah. Nil concern.
So head to state.
Fucking, I hate Idris Elba as well. I wish he'd just go away. Idris Elba in another fucking film.
I don't mind Idris Elba. I do agree with you that he's always Idris Elba in Idris Elba things, but I don't mind him. He's quite he does have a screen presence.
I can't forgive him for the Dark Tower.
My issue. You like the Dark Tower? No. My issue with him is he always has to be a little bit too cool for school and everything. And when you have actors that are like that, you always get sense it's my ego won't let me be fallible.
Like Dwayne.
Well,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah, a little bit like that. It looks this. I mean, this looks like the stuff that that is perfectly fine with going to. I will watch this on my lunch break at work.
You are a trash person. You'll watch anything with John Cena in though.
But that's because I will watch anything with John Cena in. Yeah. I know what you did last summer.
Oh dear. Do you know what? I'll happy watch it, and I'm quite looking forward to it. But it doesn't look good. Is what I will say.
Yeah, it does.
It's a requel rather than a sequel, because they're obviously trying to reboot it with this new gaggle of young people, which fine. Scream have done it. They've always kind of thought they were in the same league of Scream as Scream. They weren't, but they've always thought they were. And it's, there's a bit of nostalgia about there with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. being back in it. I've seen a lot of people online saying, oh, why is Sarah Michelle Gellar not in it? It's like, she fucking dies. So there's that element of it, but...
What I will say there, Becky, is the Scream reboot. But yeah, she does die.
But she on screen dies, whereas what's her name? What's the character's name?
No, I'm not saying about her. You've got Billy and Stu is back for the next one, isn't he?
But you don't see him die.
No, it's like yeah, it's the trailer is a little bit like, right, this is clearly written by a guy in his 50s who thinks this is how young people talk. Because... Oh, babe, do you want to go do your guided meditation? Yeah. Oh, thanks, babe, yeah. And it's like, they don't talk like that. That's how you think they talk, because you've been told that's how they talk.
Yeah.
And as somebody who spends a lot of time around young people and, has a young person. That isn't how they talk.
Has a young person, like is the proud owner of a young person.
Yeah, a little bit of that. It's nice to see Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Because I just get the feel like Freddie Prinze Jr., like, I don't think he'd be a great pint, right? Because I think he'd want to be owned by Nine. Like, and you'd be like, why own by Nine? And he'd be like, well, gotta get up. And he won't be like, 'cause he's got to get up and do workout or anything like that.
Do you know what it would be?
He'd got to get up to like, help his neighbour.
No. Do you know what it is? That man is the most fucking dedicated husband in the whole wide world. He would just be like, I really miss Sarah. I just want to go home.
But do you know what I think he'd be a really good for? If you got like, I don't know, lost out in the woods. Like I reckon he'd be really good in that situation. I reckon he'd know shit to do. But I reckon he'd be able to keep everyone just chill. Everyone just needs to chill. We'll sort this. I'm going to make a little trap to catch a rabbit over here. And then
what, so we can eat it? No, I just thought, it might calm everyone down. We could pet it.
Yeah. You'd be like, I'd actually prefer, we eat Freddy, and you'd be like, we don't do that, don't we? You'd be like, oh, fucking hell, we don't now, apparently. I feel bad, Freddy, yes. All right. So, yeah. So, not great pint. Great to get, like I say. The thing is, I've seen I Know What You Did Last Summer multiple times. We've watched it quite a few times. It's a fun movie. But when they were doing the I need your help bit and it was the back of someone's head, I was like, I can't remember who the fuck this is. And to be honest, my brain had already gone, oh, Freddie Prinze Jr., it's Sarah Michelle. Oh no, it's Jennifer Love Hewitt. There we go. So yeah, but I will happily watch this. But it does look like generic crap.
Yeah.
But it's kind of supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I Know What You Did Last Summer was always Scream's ambitious little sister. It was the Noah Cyrus to the Miley Cyrus.
Oh, I
Scream.
don't think it was quite Noah Cyrus. That's a little bit fucking harsh.
Yeah, that's true. That is a bit harsh.
Yeah. It was the Sabrina Carpenter to the Taylor Swift.
Well, because they're not sisters, are they?
No, but
But do you know what I mean? Like
Jesus.
it always.
I know what you did last summer. Sorry.
It always was just. Yeah, I mean that is quite insulting as well. To I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Not as insulting as Noah Cyrus.
No, but it's not.
Isn't she diddling her mum's ex or something like that?
No. Oh my god. So Dominic Purcell.
Prison Break.
Yeah.
And Dracula. He was Dracula in Blade 3.
Yeah.
He's the worst Dracula ever.
So Dominic Purcell was apparently seeing Noah Cyrus.
Yes.
And then, upgraded to Tish Cyrus, the mother.
You know Billy Ray Cyrus is dating Liz
I know.
Hurley?
Right, because we were having a conversation the other day at work, right, about women that have been tainted by the dick that they've taken, right? So you've got your Anna de Armas in there.
She's dating Tom Cruise.
That's fine, but she's already fucking tainted by Affleck dick, right? And
A
then
lot of women tainted by Affleck dick.
you've got, what's the other one? Oh, you've sidetracked me now. Lisa Bonet's kid.
Huh?
What's it?
Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz, tainted by Tatum dick, because it was when he was not super attractive, and now you've got this. Upset him.
The thing
Liz
is,
Hurley was. She's too good for that.
the thing is though, I mean, she's not got a very good dating history outside of Hugh Grant. But the other bit there is, the minute it happened, she went from being like, let's be honest, she's still pretty fucking hot, to, ooh, she's no longer hot.
No.
Because of that thing. So anyway, that was a weird tangent. We're going weird tangents from these trailers.
Anyway, so.
Weapons.
Oh, are we moving completely on? Okay, yeah, weapons. Yeah, their marketing for this has been on point. They just keep releasing clips of so in the sort of trailer that we watched.
It's a teaser, isn't it? It's not a really trailer, it's a teaser.
It's just footage of kids running away. So they just keep dropping little snippets of kids running strangely in a deserted neighbourhood in the dark. And obviously you've got the website that it what is it, like the Woodside Missing or something like that into at the end of the trailer, and it's like apparently their marketing has been really, really quite on point for this. Because I haven't looked at the website, but the little snippets of the kids just being creepy. I mean, kids are creepy. Weird little fuckers. Can't understand their motivations because they can't speak properly.
No, they're wild. They could do anything.
So, but yeah.
I watched a kid the other day. This little girl gets so pissed off with her little brother, but her older brother actually, because he was just screaming in the shop.
Yeah.
And she walked up to him as calm as fuck, right? Looked him dead in the eyes and just went, really calmly went, Christopher, stop screaming. And this kid was maybe about 6, 7. And the sister was maybe 4 or 5. And he screamed no back at her, and she punched him square in the face and knocked him out. And then she walked back, cool as fuck. And I instantly thought, you're better than him.
Yeah.
Like, I always went to parents and went, you should just, all the energy into her, the violent one. All the energy needs to go into her, because it's clearly all going into him at the moment. And let's face it, he's useless. He's got his little sister there, and he's the one screaming and crying, and she just decked him. It was a glorious moment. So
what is it about little boys these days?
Oh, it's always little boys that are screaming and crying in shops. Yeah, always is little bitches. Yeah, weapons. No, don't know anything about it. Don't know if I want to know anything about it, but we'll go and watch it. Looks fucking terrifying. Children are terrifying.
It's giving Pied Piper kind of vibes.
What?
Like, it's giving, like, Pied Piper.
Oh, looks like a person.
No.
Who am I thinking of then?
Piper Parabo?
That's the one.
Which, you know, like, again, I don't know very much about it apart from a lot of kids go missing. But yeah, I want to go into it knowing as little as possible, I think, on this one.
Him.
Nah.
Yeah, just...
Don't care.
It just looks like a music video for a band that I don't want to listen to.
If it's about, like, the dark side of something that people think is glamorous, I think I'll just watch Neon Demon again.
It's not even, I don't think it's the dark side that people think it's glamorous. I think it's about the dark side of the idea of sporting excellence.
Cool.
And it's a bit like, the problem is people will take the wrong lessons from this.
I think movies like that as well, like sports movies in general, just, you know, when you enjoy watching a particular genre because you can relate to it to an extent.
Yes.
Can't relate. Never a sporty kid.
Can. But there wasn't was a childhood elite sports person, not an adult elite sports person.
But I just can't, like, the pursuit of excellence at all costs. Nah, mate.
Yeah, but when you're a kid, it ain't at all costs, because it's kind of fun getting up at fucking 5 in the morning and going for a run.
No. I dispute that comment. It is never fun getting up at 5 in the morning and going for a run.
I didn't mind it.
No, I disagree.
I don't mind it. Right. Fantastic Four. First steps.
I think this trailer gives a bit more. And it has made me want to watch it more. I'm kind of rooting for this movie. I don't want to be rooting for this movie because I want to just be done with Marvel. And I feel like, but because this is in like a pocket universe, it's a different thread of the multiverse, isn't it?
Do you know what I think?
And it doesn't connect to anything else as far as I'm aware.
I think that if there was a big red button that they could press, right, and go, the multiverse no longer exists. I reckon they would just smash it and go, right, the multiverse is gone.
Oh gosh, yeah, 100%.
It's closed.
Yeah.
We're just going to have stories that link in here because it's too much for us to keep. What is it? And if occasionally they don't link, it's not real. You don't have to.
No.
It's not like real life. It's not like you're going to go around your aunties and it's going to be a completely different person, but you're still going to have to pretend it's your auntie. It don't matter. It's not that.
I just think
Although,
if they had that proverbial button,
yeah,
and then they could just go back in time to just after Endgame came out and do things so much differently, they would. Yeah, it's
I hope it's good. I hope it's the reset that they want it to be. I just think that there's a film that's coming out that's Marvel that I'm way more excited for.
but that's only because of Florence fucking Pugh.
No,
Innit?
it genuinely is not. I like Florence Pugh. You know, I think she's a fun personality as an actual person. She's quite.
Yeah, she's mint in interviews.
Yeah, she's good in interviews. She seems like she's had a wobble, caught herself, and gone, no, do you know what? No.
I think she seems about as grounded as somebody could be in her situation.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty cool. And she just comes across as being like she'd be a good pint crap in the woods.
I think if you were in the woods, lost in the woods with Florence Pugh, she'd just get a bottle out of a canteen, out of a bag, and you'd be like, "Oh, mint, you've got water," and she'd be like, "I know, babe, this is vodka."
No, it won't be vodka. You'd be like, "What is that?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, it's like an Aperol spritz or something like that."
And I don't think she's not an Aperol spritz girly. She doesn't seem like that much of a
Or it'd be a Negroni.
princess.
I'm glad we lost the age. We moved swiftly past the age of the Negroni.
Was it on holiday you had a Negroni and you were like, what the actual fucking fuck is this? It's vile. Was it a Negroni?
It was a Negroni, yeah. No, what happened there was Negroni was like the big thing of that drink of that summer, wasn't it? And it's like, I've not had one, so we went to the cocktail bar, didn't we? And we thought we'll order two at a time, because they took a while, didn't they?
Yeah.
To come.
About an hour.
So we were ordering two at a time. What an hour.
No one,
And I got a Negroni and something else. It was like a drink that they had there that I'd never heard of.
See, I got, my two that I got were ones that I know I liked, so I got an old fashioned and a Long Island iced tea. I was perfectly happy.
I got Negroni and something with apple.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
And they arrived and were sat in these big fucking chairs. And we had a minor buzz on, didn't we, that night anyway?
Yeah.
And I literally took one sip of the Negroni and just went, oh God, what the fuck? Why do fucking people drink that? That's fucking horrible. And then turned round because there's people were laughing at me, weren't they, next to us? And turned and went, what are you drinking? And they were drinking Negronis, weren't they?
Yeah.
And I asked them why.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
And I made you drink it. And then I tried the apple thing, and that was worse somehow. So I went and got a beer.
Yeah, you did, yeah. Fucking Philistine.
Yeah. Anyway, 28 years later.
Do you know what? With this one, I thought to myself, do I watch it? Do I not? Do I watch it? Do I not? Have I seen enough? And I'm gonna watch the movie. Do I watch the trailer? Do I not? And I did, and I kind of regret it.
Ooh, why?
Because it's quite a long trailer. I feel.
It packs a lot in, I would say, more than it does a long trailer.
I don't want to know. Like the Sinners trailer, for example. I was showing someone at work that the other day. Because obviously I was saying that we were going to see it. And it was about half an hour long, this trailer. That might be a slight exaggeration. But like, I came out of it going, do you know what? I wish I'd not shown them that, because I've rewatched it just before watching the movie and I feel like I know exactly what's going to happen now.
There was a trailer we watched the other week for something. I can't remember what it was called now.
I will not be watching any further publicity stuff for 28 years later.
I don't think I will. For the simple fact that was it. Where winter, spring, summer, or fall. The trailer for that feels like it's about 8 years long.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh. I'm very much looking forward to it. I think the world building, it looks incredible. I think it looks
When
great.
it's spring, summer or fall,
No,
20 years later. Okay.
20 years later. But it looks... I mean, Ian messaged after watching the trailer and said, I don't know if I can watch this. Just the hopelessness of it all just gets to me. And he will end up going to watch it. But
I feel like I can watch anything now because I've sat through Threads.
But
Have you seen them about doing a remake of that?
yeah, I don't think they should.
No, I don't think they should.
But I can see his point about the whole hopelessness thing. I can absolutely see his point on that because this just does look bleak and miserable, but it's kind of supposed to. Bex, you were on last week.
No.
The Life of Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
We obviously reviewed it last week. We reviewed it last week. We spoke about the trailer last week. It's one of your most anticipated movies of the year, so I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really intrigued. Like, obviously, Stephen King, tick. Mike Flanagan, tick. Tom Hiddleston being charming and dancing, tick. Because I like him in that kind of role. I'm glad he's not low-keying it up anymore.
I like that. I thought, because there's a pull quote I spoke about last week saying it's like the It's a Wonderful Life for modern times. And I like the idea of thought, actually, do you know what? Tom Hiddleston does have a Jimmy Stewart-y vibe to him.
But that pull quote concerns me.
Why?
Because that suggests that there's significant changes from the story.
Because this film just looks really charming.
Yeah.
Is the story charming?
Yeah, but it's not... I don't want to give too much away because like the majority of people listening that are looking to watch this won't have necessarily read it.
Yeah.
You and Ian both haven't read it, but it's not... It's a Wonderful Life, is what I'll say. And don't get me wrong, if anyone's going to make changes to source material in a Stephen King adaptation, I'd like it to be Flanagan. I said to you a couple of weeks back that I read The Haunting of Hill House for the first time, and obviously really like the Flanagan series. And genuinely, while the Shirley Jackson story is very good, Mike Flanagan does it better. And there's changes that he's made really, really fucking work. Because you're going through it and you're like, oh, that's that person, that's that scenario, but it's been used in this way, and it's really clever how he's restructured it to make the series. So if anyone's going to do it, I'd like it to be Flanagan. But and again, reading the story, it doesn't seem like an adaptable film. Kind of, it's not cinematic. So there'll have to be some changes made. But I'm just really interested to see what the sames are and what the differences are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that pull quote concerns me a little bit, that there's going to be quite significant changes. But I messaged you guys in after I'd watched the trailer, because obviously, like you say, I wasn't on. And I think it's very telling, obviously, the books that are referenced. So I think it's like Stand By Me, Shawshank Redemption, and The Green Mile. Yeah, from the writer of.
They're not.
It's
throwing...
not from the writer of It, Pet Sematary, and fucking.
Yeah, they're not throwing those ones at you for sure.
Yes. So it's very much going along the dramatic writing route than the horror writing route.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for it. It feels like it's been a long time coming.
Good. Right. Should we review a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fucking do it, man.
Right. Sinners. It's written and directed by Ryan Coogler. Stars Michael B. Jordan, Miles Caton, Jack O'Connell, Moon Musaki, Orma Miller, Delroy Lindo pops up, and Haley Steinfeld is there. I'm going to tell you what IMDb says it's about, because that will be always fun and interesting. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting for them when they get back. That is not what it's about. What is actually, we'll go a little bit into what it's actually about. Michael B. Jordan plays brothers Elijah and Elias, also known as Smoke and Stack, known as the Smokestack twins, who come back after spending a amount of time in World War One, and then in Chicago, come back to the Mississippi Delta to open a juke.
Juke joint.
Yeah, still in Prohibition time there. And
can I just interject and say one thing?
What?
I spent far too much of that movie going, smoke is red, stack is blue. Smoke is... Oh, it's actually the other way around, isn't it? Smoke is blue, stack is red. Try to remember which one was which. If they'd just called them Elias and Elijah, I would have been able to get my head around it far easier.
I was alright with it.
That's fine. I think it's just I'm a list person and I need to know things, and I couldn't get my head around smoke and stack.
We're going to get very spoilery quite quickly, I think, with this, because I don't think there's a way you can not get spoilery quite quickly with this. So, obviously, if you haven't seen Sinners yet, then we are all spoilers all the time, but we'll get spoilery quite quickly, is what I would say. Bex, what did you think?
I mean, as we get into this, it's probably going to sound like I'm being negative, and I think that doesn't necessarily represent the way that I feel about the movie. I really, really enjoyed it, and it is probably my film of the year to date. But there were criticisms that I had of it, and I feel like I would like to watch this again in a different environment where you can just kind of, A, it would be the second time, and B, just where you can kind of like comfortably sit and concentrate on it, I guess, a bit more, because it is quite busy. But also, I think maybe my expectations were skewed, and I think that is a bit of a fault of the marketing. So it has very much been marketed as, right, it's like a serious vampire movie. It's a vampire movie for maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'll agree. I was alarmed at how it is pitched as a vampire movie. And I was alarmed at how little vampiring there was within it. And I was talking to Bex after he came out, she went for a drink after we went to see her, and it very much, it's similar to, and I'm not saying the film is similar to, although it does occasionally have these moments, but in a similar way where when Tarantino does something, he is unashamedly pulls from inspirations, and so you can see it within that. But he doesn't just pull from like one inspiration. So, for instance, Joker. It's a top 30, maybe not a Tarantino movie, but Joker very much is, I am pulling from Martin Scorsese. This is my idea. This is my idea of what a Martin Scorsese movie is. It's part comedy, part Taxi Driver. There you go. Whereas Tarantino will pull from so many different people. Coogler's doing a similar thing here, I think.
Can I interject though?
Yeah.
Joker and Tarantino as a whole, it's coherent. This isn't so much. The different elements do not meld in the same way as well.
But I think there's a mild amount of intentional within that.
Okay.
But what I would say one of the most jarring ones is because you've had, and again I said this to Bex after we came out, there will be some lazy comparisons where people will say, oh, it goes slightly, it doesn't. At no point is it slightly. You know, but people will do that lazy thing. But it has sort of opening airs of, there's a little bit of, there's a lot of Michael Cimino in there. You know, there's a big...
That really made me laugh last night when you were trying to convince me of that point, and you were like, yeah, you know, like, because people say that the start of Day Hunter is really boring, and you know, but it's not, because it's like the setup, and it's like, and I was just like, the start of Day Hunter is really boring, man.
But it's not, you're wrong. But there's you've got a very long sequence. It's a long movie. It's 2 hours 20 minutes long. This movie, but you've got a long sequence of a big party scene that gets a lot going on within it, but it's not. There's not a lot actually that's moving the story along. there's just a lot of interpersonal bits that necessarily they aren't moving the story along, but they're enriching the story. They're building relationships within it. There, similar to the opening of Daedalus. So there's a lot of like Cimino-y bits within that. There, and also
I actually didn't have an issue with that section of it at all, where it's like once they actually get the juke joint open, that's when it feels like it starts to chug along for me. But that's quite a long way into the movie. The opening prior to that is slow.
And I quite like I liked the opening, but to go back to the point I was trying to make.
Sorry.
But then I would say the most jarring one is it's doing all of that, and then all of a sudden it unashamedly, absolutely becomes a John Carpenter movie, doesn't it? Like absolutely, it becomes part Assault on Precinct 13. And it also becomes the thing for a small section. Like very much absolutely lifted directly and gone, I'm going to take the scene, the blood sample scene from the thing, and I'm just going to throw it into this movie.
And add garlic.
Yeah. But it's really good.
Yeah.
It works really, really well. But it does bounce around, and then at the end it just goes, have I forgot anybody? Oh! Martin Scorsese. With a little bit of copper.
Just back to that scene.
Yeah.
Did it make you kind of think, I wonder actually how I would react to eating a raw garlic clove? I've never done that.
Yeah, because her reaction's quite funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting back to it, into the movie, I do agree, if you're not absolutely on board, then it could feel a little bit like it's getting thrown around a lot. I was on board, and I was absolutely just glorifying it. I'll also say, it's a very horny movie.
It is super horny.
It's very horny.
Yeah, one of the first conversations that Stack has with his baby cousin is about, like, locating and utilising the clit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then it just kind of goes from there.
And then later on, he goes, I'm going to use this information.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real horny movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of mentions of oral sex on women.
Fair play.
That's fair play. I mean, it doesn't get mentioned enough. I think it's almost a little bit. It's a little bit naughty. I think that from Kugler, because censors literally you can talk about sucking a guy's dick as much as you want. And censors don't really care. The minute you mention a guy going down on a girl, it's like, ooh, we're careful now. And the first thing that Haley Steinfeld says is, you stuck your tongue in my cooch.
Coos, I believe she says,
yeah.
actually. Yeah. She's good in it, actually.
She's really fucking good in it.
I have not rated her previously, but I feel like I've probably not watched an awful lot that she's been in. But I've seen a few interviews with her in the run-up to this. Like, she did, like, randomly, she did the Lad Bible US snacks versus British snacks thing.
Yes, I can never watch those because that sort of thing just...
Oh, no, but I think they're quite good, those things, because it kind of shows them as, like, just people reacting to things rather than being very rehearsed and, like, stuff like that with the answers. And I watched her on that, and she was kind of adorable. And then, like, I've seen some other interviews and stuff, and it's like, oh, maybe she's fine.
Yeah, I think she's come out of that awkward, I'm going to be a pop star as well as be an actress thing.
Did she try and be a pop star?
Yeah. She's come out of that, but yeah, but she's very, very good in this. But then again, I think the whole cast is really good in it. But yeah, you've got a very good sort of build up, and it is developing a world building within it. I do agree that it maybe pulls in a few too many story threads there.
I was a tad concerned. Sorry, we're jumping around as much as the movie does now, but I was a tad concerned with the twin thing. With that opening scene.
I will agree, yeah. The opening scene I wasn't a problem with.
The bit where they're passing the cigarette back and forth between themselves was a bit like, oh yeah, this looks wrong. This is going to be quite jarring, but it immediately isn't.
Yeah, I was alright with that bit. It was the next bit with the cousin when they're at the back of the van there and you have the snake come out. That was the bit I was a bit like, this, no, you're not doing this right, this looks weird.
No, it was a cigarette bit for me, and I was a bit like, I don't like this. This looks wrong. But then it very quickly doesn't once they actually get into the meat of the movie. I do think it's quite amusing that he colour coded them.
I think you've got to though.
Yeah, you do.
I think,
yeah.
You know, I think you've got to kind of colour code a little bit. You either colour code or you hair code.
You could have just had one with a goatee and one without, instead of both with, or there was other ways you could do it rather than, right, this one's, everything he wears is going to have a blue accent, everything he wears is going to have a red accent.
The issue is, with that, if you're going to do the, like, goatee or something like that.
Oh yeah, I suppose you either have to use like a hairpiece or you have to film all one bit and then all the other bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know when they made the Van Damme movie Double Impact, and he plays both of them, they did the hair thing and it apparently was a nightmare because they had to shoot
all of one and then all of the other.
So they quite quickly changed it about halfway through filming, so that to try and make it so no one noticed, and one of them was wearing a hairpiece and it looks bad.
Okay.
So yeah, there is that. But I mean, you know, if it was good enough for Lindsay Lohan in that movie, what is it, where you one blue and one red? What was that movie called?
Are you talking about The Parent Trap?
No, that's not The Parent Trap.
Oh, are you talking about... Oh, fuck, that one.
Yeah.
The pole dancer one?
Yes, of course, the pole dance one. I think I'm going to remember the fucking Parent Trap, or the one where she plays a pole dancer.
What even is that?
I don't know, I only watch certain scenes.
such a little perv.
Hang on a minute. But yeah, so...
Is it The Canyons?
No, Canyons was the one where she was with... the porn star James Dean, directed by Paul Schrader, which we actually reviewed on this
I Know
show.
Who Killed Me.
I Know Who Killed Me, that's the one. So yeah, it does jump around a lot. Score is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Ludwig Göransson, who does the score, is also one of the executive producers on it, which I thought was quite funny.
Can I ask a question? Because you mentioned this in a very excited voice last night as well. Do executive producers actually fucking do anything?
Some do, some don't. But as well, it's just interesting the fact that it was quite, oh, fuck. A composer been an executive producer just feels a big deal. But the music is, I would say, it softens as it goes through. But from when the movie starts, I would say up until about 20 minutes, because you've got a long, essentially, like a prologue, haven't you? That is there. The score is just constantly going and going, and music is a big part of the movie.
It's one of the many story threads.
I mean, I would say it's several of the many story threads.
It's 84 of the story threads.
And you know, Michael B. Jordan is very, very. He's just very good, isn't he?
It's really weird. Like, someone showed me a picture the other day of him in The Wire, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
had a glow up, hasn't he? But he's still like top of his head to his neck looks like he's probably a fairly sort of like obviously attractive, but like slim kind of guy. He's not got like a meathead head. Head. And then like fucking neck down he's just fucking hench.
He is.
He's really weird.
Yeah.
His head doesn't suit his head doesn't match his body.
No. What I will say, and we'll get into the what I frankly think is the genius of the writing that Ryan Coogler's done here. But it's very good casting. Michael B. Jordan, they are friends, so he was obviously that just made sense. That was always going to happen. Miles Carton, bring him in as Preacher Boy, the cousin.
Fuck, his voice is bonkers.
He's a great find.
Is he a singer or is he an actor?
I think this is actually his first acting performance. I think.
Okay. I would listen to an album by him.
But he's a musician. Yeah. Yeah, very good. And Delroy Lindo having him in it.
It's always nice to see Delroy Lindo.
Jack O'Connell is perfect casting.
Yeah, so I saw that on the hefty trailer that I watched in advance of have seen it. And I saw it and I was like, I recognise that name. Why do I recognise that name? What else is he in?
Oh, he's been in quite a bit, to be honest, Jack Conley. I mean, he started out, he was a Skins guy, wasn't he?
Oh.
Eden Lake. He was one of the absolute arsehole kid in the infuriating movie.
He's one of the little fucking scroats.
He's the main little twat.
The main scroat.
Yeah, it's 71, really, which is a really good movie.
Okay. He's in 28 Years Later as well.
Yeah. Jungle Land, very good. He was in Ferrari. He's in 20 Years Later. But yeah, he's perfect in this. So he plays the vampire. And it fucks around a little bit with vampire lore, but also keeps vampire lore. So the idea, but now, is that that basically everybody he infects, and you made a very good point.
Did I?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen often.
Everybody he infects, effectively, they become almost like a hive, don't they?
Hive mind, yeah.
Yeah, so he knows everything they know.
Which I quite enjoyed, because obviously it's set in the 20s, so vernacular is different, and I liked it that...
30s.
30s?
1930s.
Okay. Smokes Mrs. refers to it as a buzz mind. Like, and it's like, I have no doubt, you know, I feel like Ryan Coogler's probably done his homework, and like that is probably like an accurate sort of depiction of what hive mind would have maybe have been referred to. But it's like, it was just quite a cool little thing.
The language bit. They're not speaking old timey language.
No.
It's not like that, but. It's clearly well researched of what would they have said this. They don't feel like they'd have said this. But yeah, he's very, very good
Menacing,
at that.
isn't he?
He managed to be menacing, but charming as well. And it's something. The idea of and I'm casting him as casting an actor and having them be, he is English, but having essentially the lead vampire who takes over everything be Irish is just fucking genius. As a, you know, to just get around like the subtext of what Kugel is sort of saying.
Bloody Irish, coming over here, stealing our blood.
Basically saying a little bit, of going, look, we were the original migrants, immigrants that were brought over here with the, you know, as slaves that are now in the early adoption of freedom, but still under rampant persecution. And then you've got the juxtaposition of that of the Chinese settlers who came up about the railroads, but they're actually not. They would never necessarily are not in as large scale force as slaves. They've got businesses and bits like that that are there.
I feel that probably had something to do with skin tone.
I mean, possibly, yeah. But then you've got the Irish chose to come over, but they, you know, they were sympathetic to the other immigrants, but also as well
wanted their slice.
They wanted to be the top tier of that of that tier. It's just a really clever way to frame it, and then you've got. I mean, it's a fucking incredibly shot movie. You know, the fact that it's shot on film. I've bleated on about this for years. It looks better. It just does. It has more depth. Colour is colour. It is not a little group of numbers telling you that it's colour.
It is a beautiful looking movie.
And the fact that as well it's shot on 70mm cameras. It's you can see in some of the shots. You can see the ratios of it and how it sweeps, and you've almost got it's so wide that you've almost got a bend to it.
Like a horizon.
Yeah, and that just, it looks fantastic, and Kugler's doing some really. It's not even necessarily that he's fucking about or trying to, you know, do something jazzy or interesting. There is a scene where he does something a bit funky, which I think could pull some people out of it. I enjoyed it.
Which?
The bit where you've got Ghosts of Future and Past.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
I can see why people wouldn't.
I loved it up until the point there was like the The future guy. When it was all the past guys,
But
I thought that was really well done. But the future guy, I think it was too.
I can absolutely see why people have a problem with that. I didn't first, but then.
Actually, I only had a problem with that one future guy though.
But you got the problem with the future guys, I think, a little bit. You can't just have the problem with the one guy with the flying V.
But I think it was because he was so. It was like, right, let's have a futuristic guitarist. Right, what would they have? This. It was too tropey. Whereas like the other ones that were futuristic.
That is a very fair comment.
The other ones that were futuristic felt more organically futuristic. Sorry.
But he's not fucking not doing stuff like that. But he's doing some interesting work with light and colour and scope and bits like that, and it just looks fucking fantastic. And my always issue that I have with period pieces is. And a little bit, I think I'm gonna have this issue with the Fantastic Four movies, is when everything looks too clean.
Yeah,
when everything looks like the wrapping has just been taken off it. This don't.
No.
It looks warning.
Sorry, can we just circle back for 1 second? What was this really good point that I made? Because you've not covered that, and it doesn't happen often. So if we could come back to it, that'd be great.
Which bit were we talking?
I don't know. You said you made a really good point actually.
We'll probably get back to it in a second.
It was just before you started talking about hive mind.
No, it's gone.
Look, when something rare like that happens, Mike, you have to snatch hold of
it.
Again,
then.
I can't remember. Was it about the fact that it didn't actually look like it was too bad to be a vampire, and they all just seemed to be really happy?
No, but that is true.
Yeah.
You know that was the point. The really good point that you made. So the idea is that there's a bit within the movie where the vampires are basically saying, because they keep the law of vampire where they have to be invited in, don't they? And so they can't get in. So they're using that as a way to see if these things are vampires. Because they keep asking to be invited in.
It's only his missus that cottons onto that though.
Well, yeah.
Because she's into that kind of...
But she is a...
Why don't you just push your way in, bitch?
She's a voodoo lady.
She is.
But you've got a bit there where Jack O'Connell, who plays Remick, the head vampire, he's basically explaining and saying, look, you come across to us, you have all the power. You know, we are not, there is no hierarchy within this. And this is the way that you beat these guys, because the guy who sold you this place, they're coming for you tomorrow morning, they are clan.
Oh no, because they were supposed to be coming that night, weren't they?
No, it was always the morning.
No. They were supposed to be sending the son and the daughter that night.
Oh, yeah.
And then they were coming, they thought they were coming the next day.
Yeah.
To it having been done. So yeah.
But yeah, so he's literally telling them that and saying that. And the good point you made is the vampires don't kill anyone.
No. Everyone gets turned.
Everyone gets turned. They don't kill anyone. And then you've got the amazing shot sequence where...
the dancing.
You've got because you've had the bits in the Duke with the dancing, and then you've got this. This is the way I think that Gordonson does it really well. It's not overly hip hop infused, but you've got this Irish jig that has a blues kind of mesh to it, but it feels really well done because Gordonson is a very talented musician. And then you've got Jack O'Connell doing this fucking jig in the middle of it as all these things go on. And that sounds like it's going to be an absolute piece of shit.
Yeah.
But it fucking works so well.
Yeah.
We'll start to come towards the end of it. I mean, I think it is a genuinely incredible piece of work.
Yeah.
I'm going to... It's not Fallout. It's a 5-star banger for me. It's not my Fallout. I'm not quite there.
Have I used my Fallout?
No, you've used your Suspiria.
Yeah, fuck that G20.
But what I will say is, Sinners is going to be a modern masterpiece. It is going to be. This is a movie that in 20 years' time people will be studying.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying at the start. It's like, it's going to sound like I'm being negative on it. I'm not. I think it is a fascinating, fantastic piece of work. It's just, I think my expectations of what the movie were going to be were not what it was. And I think it gets a bit overexcited with itself. It labradors itself into a corner by having too many fucking stories going on at once. It doesn't need to be a vampire movie, a like buddy movie. I know they're brothers, but a buddy movie of these two guys going back to their hometown, a movie about the mythology of music, a movie about immigrants, a movie about the clan. It doesn't need all of these threads.
But I think what could have done there is almost he's made some form of movie gumbo.
He has,
and I think it tastes pretty damn fucking good.
But this is what I was saying at the start. Is I'd like to watch it again with revised expectations. It's not a vampire movie, and that's what I was expecting. And when I only got about, and the vampire section in it is spectacular.
It is very good.
And I came out a little bit disappointed that we didn't get more of that. But watching it again, knowing we don't get more of that, I feel like I would enjoy the other elements more.
The bit there is I was less interested in this being a vampire movie than I was in it being all the other movie it was.
That's fine.
But yeah, because we're recording at the wrong time, I completely forgot to put out an audience poll. And I forgot to ask the questions as well. So, I'm definitely not shit. I am touching Fallout. I might revise that next week.
Okay.
Because you're in Germany next week, aren't you?
Fucking.
And Ian's still in Japan, so I'm the only one of us left.
You're just going to do a solo show?
I think I actually might do a solo show. Yeah, but I'm going to go and see The Accountant too.
Are you going to rewatch The Accountant 1?
I am. I might even go and see Until Dawn as well.
Without me?
Never, yeah.
I don't think that's allowed.
You might shit out a look.
What the actual fuck, you piece of shit?
And I'm probably going to go and see Sinners again.
Go see Sinners again, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can't go watch Until Dawn without me. Like, I honestly will be really upset if you do.
I'm going to sit Until Dawn, and I'm going to, every so often, I'm going to go, triangle!
Actually, no, I don't want to go see it with you.
I'm assuming you have to press your triangle at some point, and it could press up on screen.
I think there is some quick time events, yeah.
Yes, there we fucking go. So what are you?
Oh, it's definitely not shit. Yeah.
Good. Right. What are you watching?
Okay, so what have I watched on my own? I have actually watched a couple. I don't know whether I spoke about Cloud with a Chance of Meatballs last week.
Well, you were on last week, so.
Oh, that'll do it then. No, I must have been because we talked about G20.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I maybe just missed the start.
You didn't. You didn't.
Missed the start.
You missed the start, yeah.
So, well, if I didn't talk about it, I watched Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. They are... Do you know what they feel like to me?
What?
The kind of kids' movies we got when we were kids.
Zany.
Yeah.
Silly.
Yeah.
Movies that are actually made for kids.
Yes, yeah. But with clever jokes in, but not like, oh, this is here for the parents jokes. Because, like, one of the funniest jokes in Cloudy 2 is...
I watched Cloudy 2 as well this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm saying, yeah.
So one of the funniest jokes in Cloudy 2 is there's a leak in the boat, and then he cuts to an actual leak, and he just goes, ah! And it's like, that's a clever joke, but not, like, too clever for kids, and not like... Oh, here's one for the parents, wink, wink, it's a little bit dirty.
No, it is probably one of the best visual gags in cinema.
It's fucking min, that bit. And then that leak turns up so many times throughout the movie, and every time it cuts to him, he's just like, ah! I fucking love that leak. And I think possibly, like, Cloudy 1 is probably the better movie.
Oh, no, my issue is...
But I think I enjoyed Cloudy 2 more because I've watched number 1 so many times.
It's too all over the place.
I fucking love it.
It's my issue with Cloudy 2 is it feels like it was written by two separate people. It was written by 3 people, but it was written by 2 writing teams. So there was one write and then one did a rewrite on it. Okay. And you can feel that. It's almost fighting against itself a little bit at points.
Yeah, and I'm not disputing that number 1 is better. I'm not. But number 2, I think because I'm less familiar with it, things still kind of take me by surprise that I've forgotten. Like, I love the bit where they're naming all the food animals. I can't remember them off the top of my head now, but like there's like, oh my god, it's a tacodile, and it's like they just put the food and the animal together, and the cheese spider. The cheese spider's great. It's just ace. It takes the concept of the first movie and then just ups it by adding the sentience and stuff like that.
The fun thing is, because I told you and I told our listeners last week about where the idea of watching the Cloudy movies came from, because you watched them because I watched them.
Yeah.
Inspired by, and I watched them because of the work thing. I told you
Yeah.
Well,
Fit like wood.
that has now actually kind of moved on as well.
Okay.
So the same lads now on a morning will occasionally just randomly shout "Flirt and Smurf" at each other from one of the what is it? And I had to go and say, "This is fucking code. You're coding this. What is it?" And they're like, "It's when our break is." So when their break is, they'll want to shout "Flirt and Smurf." But it's when we're not up. But then when we are open, they'll walk by and just go "Flirt and Smurf," and then it'll be like, "Oh, Flirt and Smurf." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's your fucking break. Go on, fuck off." But they've started doing it to me, and I have had to try and explain it to other members of management.
Just tell them to watch the fucking movie.
And they just go, "I don't know," and just walk away.
Do you find though that this movie has ruined people called Steve for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like every time I'm introduced to someone they're called Steve, my brain just goes Steve.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's really bad. Like, and the thing is, it wasn't a massive movie at the time, but it
did well.
Yeah, but it's not Pixar and it's not Disney, so it's not like up there, is it? It's not done stupid numbers. Like, it's not in the public vernacular in the same way, as evidenced by the fact that most of the people that you work with don't know what the fuck it is. Like, it's not one of them that's out there, but like it's had a huge influence.
All of the young people.
Yeah.
What else watch?
So I also I watched a bit of a trash horror trifecta. So I watched the Florence Pugh movie Malevolent. I've probably watched this more than anyone else in the world.
Have you seen it before?
I've seen it like 6 or 7 times, man.
Really?
I watch this a lot. It's not even that great. No, it is. The body of the film.
Does she get her pubes out?
She doesn't get her pupils out now.
No, I'm not interested.
The body of the movie is really good. It's just got a bit of a weak ending.
Yeah.
So basically, I don't want to give too much away because I just want everyone to watch it. But Pew and her brother.
I think I have seen this.
Yeah, you will have done. I'll have made you watch it at some point.
Yeah, I have seen this. Yes, I have seen this. Trade
off their mother's reputation as being like a ghost hunter. And she went mad and killed herself.
How'd she do?
And they think that she was just faking, or they both tell each other that they think she was just faking, and they are scam artists pretending to cleanse people's houses and making money off it. But it turns out that actually Pew's got the same gifts as her mother did, as does the brother, but he's suppressing his with like drugs and alcohol and stuff. But he can see the shit that she sees as well.
Yeah.
So they're not really scam artists.
Oh.
But then they get invited by and who is it as well? Because she's really good and she pops up in stuff, but she's really creepy. Celia Imrie is like the owner of this creepy old house, and it used to be she used to foster kids, and the kids went missing, and now she thinks she's getting haunted by these kids. And then it turns out that the story in the papers about these missing foster girls isn't quite what it seems, and it's all a bit like shady as fuck. But they get caught in a situation where the haunting is actually real. They're actually really able to interact with these things, and it all just goes a bit wrong. Everything, it shenanigans ensue. But it's really good, and I think it's a relatively early, well, not early, but like it's an ago Florence Pugh movie because it's from 2018. So I feel like it's before she was the Florence Pugh she is now, I guess.
It's only like, she did a lot in 2018, but it's only like a third or fourth film.
So yeah, she's just very, very good in it, and you can see in it as well why she has become the force of nature that she is now within the Hollywood kind of sphere.
Yeah, because she's very good.
Because she's just very grounded. She's very believable. It feels very.
Yeah, she looks like a person.
Yeah, you're in it with her. Like, it doesn't feel acted. It feels like she actually is going through this stuff, and I know that it seems like it would just be, well, yeah, duh, that's a basic of being a good actor, no? But a lot don't do it well. So she's just fucking mint in it. It's really, really good. There's a reason I come back to it like so often. And it is just because, like, weakness of the ending aside, it's a very good movie to spend time with. But it manages to be just trashy enough that it makes it fun as well. So talking of trashy,
Yeah.
I also watched the Chernobyl Diaries. Again, probably a movie that I've watched more than anyone else in the world. I don't know why I love it so much. And I think a lot of it has to do with that scene where the bear attacks them in the apartment and just runs past. That bit with the bear is fucking scary.
Yes, the bit with the bear is fucking scary.
But yeah, I mean, it markets itself as a found footage movie, but it just so patently isn't.
Yeah, it almost like gives up the found footage bit, like quite early on.
Yeah, well, I don't think it
doesn't.
ever really kind of even tries. Having a camera that shakes a bit does not make it found footage. If there is a scene being filmed that couldn't be filmed by any of the people present, it ain't found footage.
Yeah, and it does. Yeah.
No matter how much that camera screen shakes, if it's being filmed evidently by a cameraman, it ain't found footage.
Yeah.
But I like it a lot. It's really creepy. It's really tense. It's one of those films that, like, you are sat, what the fuck's going on? And I think one thing it does take from found footage movies, and carries across that works really well is the lighting stuff. One of the things for me anyway that makes found footage movies more scary, good found footage movies, is the lack of lighting, and the lighting you've got is what could be coming from their phone torches or torches or car headlights, or do you know what I mean? Like, there's a bit where they're in the car and they've got the car lights on.
Yeah.
So obviously if you've got a light on in a room and it's dark outside, you can't see anything outside.
Maybe you can.
And everything outside can see you. And it makes it so tense because you just sat there going, turn the fucking light off. Turn the fucking light off. You will be able to see outside and they won't be able to see you anymore. Turn the fucking car lights off.
That's why you should always jerk off by candlelight.
Stop. Right, look, I know you don't like the movie, but I'm trying to be serious here.
I like Chernobyl Diaries.
Well, then stop being a cunt and cleaning your glasses and making stupid comments.
I thought that was a stupid comment. I think that was actually educational.
Chernobyl Diaries, very good. Not very good. Actually, that's a lie.
Yeah, you didn't stick the landing there, did you?
Very enjoyable.
I like the Chernobyl Diaries. It's a fun little romp.
You know me. I am very much like, if it's horror, it automatically gets a bit of a free pass. If it
used to.
No, horror has to fuck up for me to not like it. I just feel like a lot of them fuck up nowadays. Writing standards, man, have gone down the pan. So then I watched Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. I don't know why this movie gets so much hate. Like,
I don't think it does. I just think that it came out at a weird time.
People seem to be really upset with it though.
People are always upset with video games because it's not exactly the same as the video game.
But it pulls in so many bits of the video game that you're like, there's that bit, there's that bit. And what's her face? Kai Scodelario makes a really good Claire Redfield.
Yeah.
Robbie Amell makes a decent enough Chris Redfield. Like, he doesn't look like him, but he's got the right swagger for it.
Yeah.
What's her name? Hannah John Kamen, is it? Is a decent enough Jill Valentine. The only really, really bad characterisation in it, I think, is they do Leon a bit dirty. They make him a bit pathetic.
Good. No,
it's not good. Leon's kind of, he's just a cool rookie cop in the games, where they make him really quite useless in this. I really like it. They pull in bits of the different games. I think like timeline wise, game sort of world, 2 and 3 kind of run simultaneously. Whereas in this, it's presenting 1 and 2 kind of running simultaneously, which is a bit whiplashy, because so 1 is the outbreak happening, and 2 and 3 are the after effects of the outbreak getting into Raccoon City games. Whereas this is it's happening and the effects of it are happening at the same time. So that's a bit. Like, from a narrative point of view, it makes it a little bit messy. But there's just so many cool fucking little nods to the games in it that I don't get why people don't like it so much, and why they're now rebooting the franchise again.
Just too long gone.
I mean, it's only 2021. But, like, I can understand people having an issue with the Mila Jovovich movies, because they've just completely gone in their own direction. They have no bearing to the games whatsoever. You have to, not really. They have no bearing to the games whatsoever. She as a character does not exist at all at any point in the games. So it's just gone off in its own direction and run with it. You have to kind of watch those movies.
They're a movie series that is called Resident Evil.
Yes, they are. Yeah, you have to watch them as their own little thing. Whereas
I think you need to at some point watch that Georgia Romero, the documentary about Romero's.
I'd love to, actually. I didn't know we had that until I saw it the other day. I didn't know you'd acquired it. Yeah, because that would have been interesting. But yeah, really fucking like Welcome to Raccoon City. Really quite sad that they're not going to do anything else with that little universe they created. Well, that's me.
Right, so shall we move it to the...
One thing I would like to say
before
we move on to like yours / what films we've been watching. We've been doing a rewatch of Ted Lasso, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
I always thought I kind of hated season 3 of Ted Lasso. Rewatching it, it's a lot better than I remember. It's a lot less bleak and sad than I remember. It's bleak and sad, but it's not just bleak and sad. It does have some sort of levity in it, and I think as well, like the Nate stuff ruined watching season 3 for me when we first watched it, because I was just filled with incandescent rage towards him. Whereas now, knowing that it obviously kind of all comes to bits for him, it didn't ruin it as much for me, hating Nate.
Fair.
So yeah.
What do we watch together? So, yeah, well...
No, I've just talked for ages. You can do some work.
We watched the movie Just Cause, didn't we?
We did.
Yes. From 1980. It was a 30-year-old movie.
Yeah, which in my brain, because we had a copy of this on like DVD, and it was like a foreign copy though, wasn't it? And it was Justy Causey.
It was
on the front, so just had an E on the end of it.
Yeah.
Just Cause. And my brain always goes, oh yeah, Justy Causey. Like in my brain whenever I look at it.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think I bought that from a 5 for 30 at Virgin Megastore. And yeah, all the copies that they'd received were like French.
Yeah. But not in French,
no.
not with hard-coded subs or anything. It was just the outside was
outside colour, yeah.
Just Cause.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we watched Justy Causey.
Yes, the Anna Gimlet movie, starring Sean Connery, Lawrence Fishburne, Kate Capshaw.
I made a really funny joke
Harris.
the other day.
What?
So yeah, it was really good. So we were at work and it was like I was talking to a customer and I booked him in for like a survey and got off the phone. I said to someone at work, oh yeah, I booked him in for about 10ish. And like, all right, 10ish. I was like, yeah, Sean Connery's favourite sport. Everyone laughed.
So we watched Just Cause. In spite of the fact that I'm a very big Sean Connery skeptic, aren't I?
You are, yeah.
I don't agree with the rest of the world. In a similar way as I don't agree with the rest of the world with Pierce Brosnan and Richard D. Grant. Sean Connery's a bit shit. He's fun in this. And I like him when he's in pulpy stuff. Like this. Because it is quite pulpy. This. And it's a bit silly. And it doesn't all hang together. I like the fact that you've got Lawrence Fishburne as both the bad guy but also the kind of good guy. He's not the big bad guy that you think he is, but he also is.
Yeah. He's a bad guy, but he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like
his methods are just wrong.
Yeah, I like the flip between that.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that Lawrence Fishburne genuinely seems to terrify Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Like he seems a little bit.
That doesn't seem acted, does it?
No, it doesn't. No. It doesn't seem accurate. And Fishburne seems to really fucking like scaring him.
Yeah, he's really good in this, Fishburne.
It's in that phase of Lawrence Fishburne's career where he was doing like really, really like strong work. Like Lawrence Fishburne had a really good, you know. He had a very good career, but he had a really fucking strong sort of 90s.
Do you know what I would say about this particular movie and his performance in it?
What?
That performance deserves to be in a better movie than this. Like, I really like Just Cause, but it isn't like a prestige movie, let's say.
No, it's definitely not.
But his performance in this deserves to be in a prestige movie. He's very, very good in this.
I mean, he just is in 1995. He's really good. High Learning, Bad Company, Just Cause, and Othello. That's a good 95. Yeah, good, just because it's fun. It's another one of those 90s thrillers that were made for grown-ups that were just solid watches.
Yeah.
I do think that people are starting to come round to the idea now, because the 90s is effectively, the majority of the 90s now is 30 years ago. It's not 3 years ago.
Like 10 years ago, Mark.
Like, a lot of people are now starting to come around to the idea of, holy shit, the 90s was really good for cinema.
Oh, do you know what I do find amusing though?
What?
So, obviously, older actors being in relationships with younger actresses in movies has become a thing that gets called out now, so it happens less now.
Yeah.
It doesn't not happen, but it happens less, or less jarringly. And when you go back and watch movies like this, and it's like, she genuinely seems like she's probably about 30 years younger than him.
She is 23 years younger.
Yeah, and it's like, and you watch all the movies like this and you're like, no.
Yeah, there is an element of that. But also as well, I mean, Sean Connery's 65.
In this movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and he looks 65 in this movie.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And Kate Capshaw, I believe, is 42 in this movie.
Yeah.
So she's the same age as you.
I'm not 42.
You're basically 42.
For another week.
So she's 42 in this movie. And again, she probably looks 42. But yeah, that's the thing. I don't think people would have a problem. But now, 42 in a movie doesn't look like 42. But it is fun when you see that, because it does happen a lot with this. And people will always say things like, oh yeah, but you could see why, Sean Connery would end up with like a young wife. Like, what, and like a 5-year-old daughter?
Yeah.
Played by Scarlett Johansson.
I don't think she's 5. I think you'd probably put her at about 10.
I'd say 8 max. I'd say 8 max on that.
She
8 years.
She was 15 in this movie, Mark.
Scarlett Johansson was 15?
Fucking messing with you. I haven't even got there yet.
Oh, you motherfucker. That's punch your right square in the face. When the movie was made, she was actually 11 when the movie was made.
Oh wow, see,
yeah.
10.
But the kid's definitely not 10.
I reckon she's supposed to be about 10.
She's about 3. Yeah, it is a bit weird. It's a fun movie, and I like the fact that, I mean, you've got a great unhinged fucking Ed Harris performance in the middle of it as well.
Yeah. I always forget he pops up.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, jumping around his cell just fucking completely fucking naked. I guarantee you the fucking director walked in and go, right, Ed, why are you naked? Oh, fucking just because I am.
What have you done to the wall there?
What, did you do this? Yeah, I've been here 3 weeks.
Where did you get the chalks? From with me.
Made them.
Made them from bone.
Yeah.
Crushed some beetles.
Yeah. What, you won't put it past him, would you?
No.
Alright. We watched Stand By Me. We're not going to talk about Stand By Me because we've talked about it a lot. But I am going to ask you a question regarding Stand By Me. Why do you think... It's one of your favourite movies, isn't it?
It's my favourite Stephen King adaptation, yeah.
But
and it is one of my favourite movies, yeah.
Yeah. What I was going to ask you is, why do you think for you Stand By Me endures so much?
Because I think kids remain kids, and their interactions remain kind of the same, regardless of how much time passes. So, like, even kids this age, I think once you start getting to teenagers and like more of the cultural influences around you start to come to bear, I think kids stay around the same, and I think the conversations that they have, they might be about different things, but they're along the same vein. Like there's the bit in here where they're like, could Mighty Mouse beat Superman?
Yeah.
We've all had that conversation as kids.
Versions of it.
You know, could Banana Man beat Batman?
No.
But do you know what I mean? Like,
no, Banana Man could beat Batman, yeah.
Yeah.
But like now it would be who would win a fight, Thor or Iron Man.
Yeah. So, you know, these are things. These are the ways kids' films develop. So whenever you watch it, it always feels like a period piece because of the music and because of the clothes and stuff like that. But it feels fresh. I think as well, it's so lovingly made as well. So like you can feel that coming off the screen, and it feels like a hug of a movie.
Yeah, that's my thing.
It's so comforting to watch, and it's about kids going to find a fucking dead body. You know, a train hit him so hard it knocked him out with Keds. Which is, you know, the inspiration behind my lifelong hunt for some Keds.
And you have Keds.
Which I now have.
Dust pairs.
Dust pairs. But yeah, I just... You put it on, the fucking music kicks in, and it's like getting in a warm bath. I love it. I just love it. And I think, like I say, I think it is such a good adaptation, and it stands the test of time because it's period enough that it doesn't feel like it's been needy and trying, oh, look. But again, see, that's another thing. It's period piece, but it doesn't feel like, you know, like when you watch Stranger Things, for example, you don't watch Stranger Things, but when you watch stuff like Stranger Things and it's like, look how 80s we are, look at this 80s thing and this 80s thing and this 80s thing.
I
don't do that.
I know what you mean. It is a problem with a lot of like modern nostalgia baiting, is that they're overly showing you things, and it's like, no, not every fucking house had those things.
Yeah,
You're over 80s in things, or over 90s in things.
Yeah. Oh, just to circle back to Sinners for a second, I did not enjoy the final scene where like 90s Stack and Mary came into the pub to see him. Didn't enjoy that.
I did.
Too 80s-y. They've made them too 80s-y. 90s-y, sorry.
Yeah, but I can see that.
Didn't enjoy that. Anyway, but yeah, so with nostalgia bait stuff, it's like, oh, right, what was big in the 80s? Oh, this, and this, right, let's put it in everywhere.
Yeah.
And this doesn't do that. They're just wearing, like, chinos and striped t-shirts and fucking Keds.
Yeah.
They're not... It's just so good. It is just so good. Like, I can't really articulate very well why, I don't think. What is it for you?
I think it's just that. It's the relatability of it. I think it's also, I think if it's one of those films you watched when you were younger, there's an element of you because there's very little grown-ups in it. You are spending the majority of your time with the kids. I think the only grown-ups in it ever having interactions are always with Will Wheaton. There's not a single grown-up interaction. There's group interactions, but any single actual proper grown-up interaction is with Will Wheaton, the shopkeeper and his dad.
The waitress with the cherry bombs.
I think it is that.
Yeah, I do wonder what it would be like to watch if you were coming to it for the first time as an adult.
Yeah.
Because I think you have to have watched it for the first time being able to relate to the kids.
Yeah.
Because there isn't, like, whereas with some, you watch and you relate to, like, everyone sort of cites Little Mermaid as one. Like, you know you're getting old when you start relating to a dad and thinking, yeah, well, you are just a fucking kid, rather than relating to Ariel. But, like, that's obviously not a universal experience, that's more girl-based. But do you know what I mean? Like, there isn't that then older character to relate to when you get older. So, yeah, I think that's probably right.
That's all we watched together, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to watch a couple this week. On my solo.
On your solo.
So watched Cloudy 2, which we spoke about a minute ago. Also rewatched another 90s made for grown-ups film. It's the Mel Gibson film Ransom.
Okay.
So I rewatched this. Really strong supporting cast. You've got Rene Russo, Gary Sinise, Delroy Lindo's in it, Lily Taylor, Liev Schreiber, Donnie Wahlberg, looking like if somebody fucking chewed a human and spat him out. Dan Hedaya is in there, just completely miscast. I've got that John Ortiz crops up for a brief amount of time as well. And everything's always better with John Ortiz. It's good. It's very Ron Howardy, I would say, at Ransom. In the fact that it's very good. It's very well made. It's very well structured. The things pop. But then when you start going back to watching this time, and I did really enjoy rewatching it. And it is always another one where that it's a shame that Mel Gibson is such a trash human because he is a really good screen presence. But going back and rewatching it, the gang that kidnapped, so Gary Sinise, Lily Taylor, Liev Schreiber, and Donnie Wahlberg, and Evan Handler, they are such caricatures of, like, 90s crimers. Like, it's really bad. Like a point. Gary Sinise, it only hit me when I was watching this, because obviously Gary Sinise came to prominence because of he'd been a good sort of jobbing actor, but he had Forrest Gump and Apollo 13 in back-to-back years. But then in Ransom, Snake Eyes, and then Reindeer Games, which were all made in the space of a few years, he basically plays the same character. And Ransom and Snake Eyes, they are the same character. Like, they are the person of authority who is investigating something, but is also the person doing it.
Right.
Yeah. But it is good, it is fun, the idea of somebody whose kid's been kidnapped deciding to just go, no, I'm not paying you stupid ransom, you prick. I'm going to fucking hunt you down.
Like Liam Neeson?
Like Liam Neeson would hunt down my passport photo.
Your passport photo's terrifying.
It is horrifying, isn't it?
I showed my boss it the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's haunting.
If I'm ever feeling a bit blue at work and I need a good laugh, I just get your passport out of my bag.
That does, yeah. It's fair.
Yeah.
I may well, listeners, I may well post it at some point on our Instagram just so people can horrify.
No, don't. You'll go on a list.
I think I'm already on it. Right, and then also another 90s for grown-ups movie that I watched. A lot of 90s action recently. I watched the Hughes Brothers Menace to Society, which is a movie that kind of shot out of the blocks. Real low budget movie, $3.5 million, and took like over 30 million, and was very much one of those like a cultural landmark movie in the 90s. There, I remember it being. It was a big deal. You had black culture was on the rise, but you'd still, you were coming out of the, a lot of unrest. There was watch riots and things like that. This is post Rodney King, and it's like that. So you were getting, but hip hop was becoming, and rap music was veering into what became gangster rap, and so that was becoming a cultural force that wasn't just an underground scene thing. And Boys in the Hood had done very well, and then this came out, and it's essentially a neighbourhood story.
Okay.
That is all set within the neighbourhood around one kid called Kane, and his friend O-Dog, and it has a really good kind of like, the opening is it's a very fucking cold opening. So spoiler alert, I'm sure most people listening to this have probably ended up seeing this movie at some point, but it's a 32-year-old movie. But the opening scene is the two characters who are both I think they're both like 17, 18, and they literally walk into a convenience store and end up to just buy a beer and end up robbing the place, and O-Dog ends up killing the clerks. Yeah. And so it just opens up like that. And I think the line I'm maybe paraphrasing is, because it's narrated over by Kane, is just waiting to get a beer, and now I'm an accessory to armed robbery and murder. Sometimes it was just like that in the hood. And then it cuts to the actual fucking movie. And it very much, and the Hughes brothers, Mark Allen Hughes, has been very open and honest about this, and said it is, we were basically making Goodfellas, but about
hood kids.
Yeah. And that's kind of what it is. It's Goodfellas but for hood kids.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more low stakes, but it's supposed to be. And that's kind of what it is, and that's the way it falls through. It's incredibly watchable, and it still holds up. And I rewatched it a few years ago, maybe about 3 years ago. I rewatched it again, and I put out a tweet back when you could tweet, and put that it was still a great movie, and maybe it shouldn't still be as relevant as it is. It must be like 28 years later, near 30 years later. And weirdly, Alan Hughes responded to me.
Okay.
And just said, no, it really shouldn't. And I had a bit of a back and forth conversation with him, which I thought was just out of the blue. I didn't tag him in it or anything like that. And I think because somebody had liked it, and he must have got into that. I had a back and forth conversation with him about talking about like the fact that I remember watching it and back in the day and bits like that. And he was talking about because I sort of did say like it'd been a Scorsese reference, and he was like, man, it's Goodfellas. I've been really honest about it. I've always been really honest about it. It's just Goodfellas. It's just on a lower budget, on a lower scale. He said, but it is good. He said, but we lifted it. But it's really good. And I think going back and looking at it now is really interesting because there's no marker points that set it. It doesn't feel like a period movie. Whereas now, if they were trying to make something now with this, you would have someone stealing a pair of Jordans or something like that, and it isn't. It's a very, very good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's what I watched. Like I said earlier, I forgot to put out questions because it's completely thrown my head that we're recording.
Discombobulated, isn't it?
It has a little bit, yeah. Right, so we're not entirely sure when the next show is going to be after this one.
No.
Because I might do some recording on my own next week.
Get ready for chaos, everyone.
There. But we might not if I just don't think that I've got enough shit to say. Or I can't find a guest.
You can chat shit until the cows come home.
But what I will say is on the next episode, at the very least, it'll either be me chatting The Accountant 2. I won't go and see it until dawn, but I might go and see Warfare. So either me chatting those, or it will be all of us chatting Until Dawn and Thunderbolts.
Oh,
because that's the week after.
Okay, yeah.
So it's the week before we go on holiday.
Yeah.
But it'll be when Ian gets back and when you're back from Germany.
I'm back on like Friday morning, I would say.
Yeah.
So we could record.
We'll record another Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You working on the Friday?
Yeah.
But we're both off on the Saturday?
Yeah.
We could go see...
we don't need to do this admin.
We could double movie it on Saturday.
We might do. We don't need to admin on it. Okay. We're literally about to spend the rest of the day together.
Right. How exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hope that Ian's continuing to have a good time. Hopefully not masturbating on roller coasters. Yeah.
Or to kawaii girls. Just in the street.
People should never miss, podcasters should never miss shows.
No.
They just get flamed.
I mean, we're not saying he is. We're just saying we hope he isn't.
We hope he's having a really good time.
Yeah.
Yes. And we hope you've had a good time listening to this. So, we thank you very much. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Mark.
And thank you, dear listeners. And fuck you, Jason, because Ian isn't here to say it. But that don't get to say you fucking get away with it, you prick.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.